If you're a parent or student athlete trying to figure out college recruiting, let me help you avoid the painful learning curve. I've coached college basketball for over 30 years, and I've recruited hundreds of athletes. I've watched too many talented kids fall through the cracks, not because they weren't good enough, but because they didn't have a plan. Today, I'm going to share 5 game-changing lessons I've learned across 3 decades in recruiting. Stick with me because this will change how you approach everything in this recruiting process. So let's start with the basics. Who am I and why you should listen? I grew up in the Roxborough section of Philadelphia. I played at Archbishop Kennedy High School, small Catholic school in Conshohocken. Played Division III basketball at a university that is now known as Arcadia. But I got into coaching because I wanted to impact lives. That's turned into 30 years as a college head coach and director of athletics. And I've been in every gym imaginable. I've recruited kids from small towns, big cities, prep schools, public schools, homeschooled athletes, and even some international prospects. I've seen what families get right and where most of them completely go wrong. In my first years as a head coach, I was flying blind. I thought I was looking for scorers, but what I really needed were competitors and leaders, and students who understood how to get recruited. That realization shaped my entire coaching philosophy. So let's dive into the 5 lessons that will reshape how you approach recruiting. Number 1, talent doesn't get you recruited, strategy does. This is one hard lesson for families to hear, but it's the truth. I've seen kids who could jump out of the building, light it up from 30, and go completely unrecruited. Why? Because they didn't know how to get on a coach's radar. Recruiting isn't just about ability, it's about exposure, timing, and communication. It's about knowing which schools to reach out to and how to present yourself in a way that makes coaches pay attention. I've had families tell me, we're just waiting for someone to find us. That's like putting your student in a corner of a gym with no lights on and hoping someone wanders in. You need a plan. Here's a quick tip. Create a list of schools. Send targeted emails and include video and continuously follow up. That list of schools needs to be targeted, realistic, and achievable. Number 2, parents matter more than they think, but they need to play their role. Let's talk about your role as a parent. You are the project manager, the emotional support, and the logistics coordinator, but you're not the athlete. You can't play the game for them, and you shouldn't be pretending to be them in emails. I've had parents completely take over the process, and that backfires. Coaches want to hear directly from the athlete. We need to see that they're engaged and that they want this. But parents who lean in the right way, who help their child stay organized, track emails, track visits, manage the visits, prepare the questions, that's a huge advantage because recruiting is overwhelming. Number 3, the earlier you start, the more options you have. The biggest regret I hear from parents and students is we waited too long. Look, starting early doesn't mean committing as a freshman. It means getting educated, setting up a plan, building a strong highlight reel, and creating a realistic college fit. That fit needs to be realistic. I can't emphasize that enough. I've had 9th graders send their first emails, build relationships, and show up early on coaches' radars. It pays off. Meanwhile, I've had seniors call me in spring saying, Coach, we realize now we want to play in college. You can still make that happen, but your choices may be limited and the pressure will be high. Early action gives you freedom. Late action forces desperation. So start early. That equals more time, more options, and more peace. Number 4, video can get you noticed, but the relationships get you signed. I'll be honest, highlight videos are critical. They're your athlete's first impression, but they're not the final decision maker. I've watched thousands of videos, but what seals the deal for me are phone calls, campus visits, honest conversations with the students, and then follow ups. Families think if they send the right link, they're done. But your video's just the audition. You need to show up with character, with work ethic, and responsiveness. You need to engage. And when a coach knows that they can count on you, that's when the offers come. Another tip would be use video to open the doors, but your conversations, use them to walk through those same doors. Number 5, most athletes fail because they wait for someone to save them. Here's the most brutal truth. Most athletes and families fail because they wait for something to happen. They wait for a magical email, for a call, for someone to discover them. But this isn't Hollywood. If you're not actively reaching out, gathering film, managing your list, visiting campuses, whether in person or virtually, and asking the right questions, you're practically invisible. And I say this with complete respect, but I've seen heartbreaking cases of amazing students who simply didn't know how to navigate this process. After 30 years of recruiting, watching families make the same avoidable mistakes, I decided to do something. I've always helped families along the way the last 3 decades. I've always helped family and friends along the way, and people navigate this process. But a bigger outreach is why I built KeithMondillo.com as an educational platform and not a recruiting service. I am not a recruiting service. I wanted to give families the blueprint I wish every freshman, sophomore, or late bloomer had. The athletic recruiting roadmap, it's built from decades of me being in real gyms, making real phone calls, and real offers. And in KeithMondillo.com, you'll find books, coaching programs, and other tools that'll give your family clarity, structure, and confidence. So if your family's overwhelmed, uncertain, or starting late, it's not too late, but you need a proven plan. The books on my site, especially the Athletic Recruiting Roadmap or the Parents Survival Guide, will walk you through step by step the building blocks to get your school list together, to contact coaches, to create your highlight video, and prepare for visits and more. These aren't just resources, they're tools that shift you from being confused and passive to confident and in control. I've seen these tools change lives. Athletes who went from being completely off a coach's radar to signing and committing to programs they never thought possible. If you're ready to stop guessing and start acting, grab the roadmap. Let's build your athlete's future the right way. And in this weekend, I'm going to attach a video. Please take time to look at it. It's our bundle just for Memorial Day weekend only. And if you want to look at our next video, how to avoid the top 5 mistakes parents make in their recruiting process, watch it here. Please like and subscribe. Send this video to anyone who you think might benefit from it. I enjoyed my time with you. Take care and have a great weekend. Hi, I'm Coach Keith Mondillo. And if you're here, chances are your family is in the middle of the recruiting maze. Maybe you're not sure where to start. Maybe your athlete has talent but hasn't gotten noticed. Or maybe just like so many parents I've worked with, you're just worried time is running out. You're not alone. And more importantly, you're not too late. I spent over 30 years coaching and recruiting at the college level, and I've seen how overwhelming this process can be for families. But I've also seen the transformation that happens when a family gets a real plan, when a parent understands their role, when an athlete knows what to say to coaches, and when you stop guessing and start leading. This is about taking back control. This is about turning anxiety into action. This is about having a coach in your corner, even if you've never had one before. That's exactly why I created the Recruiting Jumpstart Bundle. It's the full system I've built from years of experience in recruiting, and for Memorial Day weekend, I've packaged it all together for just $97. It all starts with the athletic recruiting roadmap, the foundation. This is the big picture, how recruiting actually works, when to take action, what coaches are really looking for. It gives you the clarity and confidence you've been missing. Next is a recruiting workbook. This turns that clarity into a working plan. You'll build your school list, track communication, prep for visits, and set real timelines. This isn't passive reading, it's a strategic planning tool. Then we give your athlete a voice with the email playbook. Inside are 39 proven templates I've personally reviewed. They're direct, they're professional, and they're exactly what college coaches want to see. No more guessing what to say. The Q&A playbook helps your athlete and family ask the right questions on visits and calls, so you avoid awkward moments and spot red flags early. These are the questions coaches notice, the ones smart recruits ask. And finally, the Parents Recruiting Survival Guide. This is what I wish every parent had before their first call, visit, or showcase. You'll learn how to lead without micromanaging, how to support without stepping on your athlete's independence. It's a mind shift, and it changes everything. Look, I know what it feels like to care deeply and still feel lost. This bundle is your way forward. It's a roadmap, a voice, a guide, and a coaching system all in one. And for this Memorial Day only, you can get all 5 resources for just $97. It's over $195 worth of tools and years of experience packed into one simple plan. You spend more money going to an AAU or club event on a weekend just to see your son or daughter participate. If your family's ready to go from confused to confident, you're ready for this bundle. Click below to get started, and let's take the first chapter together. Good luck, and I hope to see you on the inside. Take care.